Hello! So, we are in June now, which means it's a whole new theme for this month. And I sort of had a long time thinking about what I wanted to do. Right up until today, in fact, I was umming and ahhing about it. And then I sort of thought that I'm sort of in the middle of 2 months, really, because I've got July, something planned for that, August, something planned for that, and June just sort of felt like an in-between month that I really didn't know what to do with. And then I thought, there is a month I really wanted to do, and I wasn't sure which month to put it in. So, I've decided to put it in this month, and that is Disney month! So the reason I really wanted to do a Disney month is A, I'm a big fan of Disney, and B, it's Mickey Mouse's 90th birthday this year. Yeah, 90 years old this little bugger is. Well, what do you know? And yeah, he's looking, well, mine's looking a bit faded on it, but he's looking pretty good on it. And because of that, I really wanted to have a month where I talk about Disney, where I can look at some Disney films I've not seen, favourite Disney things, characters, films, and even Disneyland, of course. The one thing I'm not going to talk much about, if any, really is Star Wars or Avengers, because I've just had Superhero Month, and I know that Disney owns Star Wars and Avengers and Marvel, but I'm not going to really, they're not part of it. As much as I would like them to be. Anyway, so what I decided to do for today was to do a Disneyland tag. I actually did one of these a couple of years ago when I just came back from Disneyland in January 2016. But I've been since. I went last year with my boyfriend, and I thought because of that new experience, I'd have more to talk about with it. I'm not doing the exact same tag I did last time, but a lot of the questions are going to be similar. So I thought that would be fun to do. So I'm going to also try and do a similar thing that I did in the last video, because let's face it, I do have a lot of Disney cuddly toys. What year did you first go and how old were you? I first went in 2000 when I was 16. I went with the school. It was, exams had finished, we were celebrating, so we went to Disneyland for a day, which was sort of a big deal because normally everyone went to Bournemouth. And yeah, it was really good, except I don't think I was really in the right frame of mind, or maybe the right age. I don't know, there was just something about the timing of going, because I didn't have as good a time as I would have if I'd gone when I was a bit younger. Not to say that I didn't have a good time in a way, but I don't really have many memories of that time. And I know that I didn't go on many rides or have any character meets, which was a bit of a shame. So yeah, my first time was not the best time. Favourite hotel? I've actually stayed in 2 hotels, Sequoia Lodge and Newport Bay. Which one I like best is really hard to decide, because the rooms themselves are pretty much the same in structure. It's just the decorations that's different. But the outside, I mean, Newport Bay is big, you can see it at the end of the river, it's really big, looks like a yacht club. And Sequoia Lodge is more sort of hidden away in the bushes with all the trees because of, you know, it's a log cabin. So in some ways I prefer the outside of Newport Bay for just how big and grand it is. But I do love Sequoia Lodges. They've got a bar with a nice open fire, and it's a really lovely atmosphere. So it really is a hard one to say which one I prefer. But if I had to say which one I would want to stay in again, I would probably say either of them. I don't know. It's a tie, honestly. Honestly, don't care. Best place to eat. Now, when it comes to eating in Disneyland, initially I hadn't eaten in many places, but it was the last 2 trips that I really tried a lot more food at Disney. And I'd probably say, weirdly, Annette's Diner had one of the best meals I had, because they had a chili dog that was absolutely lovely. But for atmosphere as well as food, I'd probably say Ludwig's. Because I love the whole Bavarian castle look it's got. It really is beautiful, German Bavarian knights and sort of medieval look to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I tried schnitzel for the first time last year when I went, and that was really nice. I really enjoyed that meal. And it was also the first meal I had when I went there last year. And back in 2016, it seems to be the go-to place when you first get to Disney to try, and I like that. So yeah, Ludwig's. Favourite land? Ooh, This one's a toughie. I think last time I said Discoveryland, and I'm probably going to go with that one again because it does have a very steampunky look to it in areas, because it's got a Nautilus in the water. It's got a giant airship coming out of a what used to be an eatery. I think it's the Jedi Academy now. And it's also got a sort of futuristic look to it that's sort of the 50s, imagining what the future would look like. And I do kind of like that aesthetic. It looks really good. So all of that sort of put together is really good. And as I said also, there's good rides there. There's Buzz, which I've been on every day you're at Disney, you have to ride Buzz, Star Tours, which is really good, and the Autopia ride, which is really cool. So yeah, for aesthetics and ride quality and everything, Disneyland, Discovery World is probably my favourite. Which ride could you ride over and over again and never tire of? Well, the one I've obviously ridden the most is Buzz, but that's more of a sort of competition thing to see who can score the most points. And then compare over the week, which didn't really work out both times I went, but that's sort of what you do. For that, I really like Buzz because of the whole competition element. I also really like Star Tours for the fact that you get a different scenario every time you ride it. And I really enjoyed Ratatouille. Like, the first time I went on Ratatouille, I felt queasy and I didn't enjoy it. But when I went last year with my boyfriend, I didn't feel that way, and I got to enjoy the ride so much more, and the whole 4D element of it was actually really good, and we went on that a couple of times. But to be honest, it's probably Buzz. My favourite ride is Pirates of the Caribbean for the aesthetics and everything. We rode that every single day when I went there a couple of years ago. But of course, when I went last year, it was closed, and that was really, 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 really annoying. Because I didn't get to ride it, and that is, as I say, my favourite ride. So probably Pirates and Buzz would be two rides I could go over and over again and never tire of. Favourite character meet? Now, the last time I did this, the only character I'd met was Goofy and Timon, so I didn't have much to choose from. However, last year we met as many characters as we could, and we managed to check so many off of our list. And it really is hard to sort of narrow down which was my favourite. To a degree, my favourite as far as interactions go was probably Jafar, because I do have one of my favourite photographs, which I'm going to show. What happened was he just kept leaning forward and I just kept leaning back, and I kept doing that until I couldn't, and it was just hilarious, and I'm so glad they got a picture of that. So for that was really fun. But then meeting Mickey for the first time was really enjoyable. I got a little Polaroid picture of me and my boyfriend and Mickey. Meeting Goofy, the fact that he was one of the few that I actually got to catch when I went a couple of years ago in 2016 was really good. Pluto was a lot of fun, and so was the Queen of Hearts, who tried to steal my boyfriend, which was also kind of funny. So all of these, there were a lot of fun interactions. So it really is kind of hard to narrow it down, but those were definitely my favourites. Disneyland or Walt Disney Studios? The main street is what makes Disneyland the best part to go to. Just walking up Main Street, looking at the castle, that never gets old. I love that. Any time of the year, any condition, especially at night, it's also beautiful. And because you get to watch the fireworks, and because of that, I definitely would have to prefer the Disneyland main park to the Walt Disney Studios, despite the fact that Disney Studios has so much available, has so much there, and I do love the whole behind the scenes of the golden age of cinema sort of look it's got to it. I love that. But let's face it, it's always going to be the main park. Favourite parade or show? Oh, this is a tough one because I really enjoyed the parade I saw for the 25th anniversary. Because, of course, they're just ending their 25th anniversary, but I went at the beginning of it last year. And the parade they had there was really good, with a Maleficent dragon float, which was absolutely incredible. Got some video of that. But as far as shows go, I always loved Cinémagique. When I first went, when I went to Disneyland in 2016, it was the first time I'd seen Cinémagique. And I know it seems to be just a collection of, it is a lot of collection of old films throughout the years. But the way they do it, the clever way they introduce it and everything, and it's just really good. I really love it. And I'm so annoyed that, it was closed. I think they're either reinventing it, renovating it or something at the moment. But when I went last year, it was closed, and I was really sad I didn't get to see it again, because I saw it twice when I went in 2016. But also Mickey and the Magician was also really good. I'm sad I didn't get to see that twice last year, but that was good. Best attraction at Walt Disney Studios. That would be Ratatouille. I already mentioned that that was a ride that I didn't enjoy when I first went on it. But then when I went back again last year, I absolutely enjoyed it so much more. It's either that, or I also really like the studio tour. I did that for the first time last year. It was always closed, or we didn't have time to do it when I went before. So yeah, that one, just seeing the way they do the sort of behind the scenes of how they make movies and all that stuff, and this whole tanker and water, and the whole ride is really cool. So I really enjoyed that. So that and Ratatouille. And lastly, happiest memory at Disneyland. Last year was really great to go with my boyfriend for the first time, just the two of us. When we first went and we saw the castle illuminations, when we were waiting for that, getting there, when we both got there, his excitement for it really sort of rubbed off on me. And seeing Mickey say goodbye to us end of it, because as we were leaving, he was waving goodbye to everybody. That was one of my favourite Disney moments. Just coming in, being excited. The first thing we did was watch Illuminations and seeing Mickey as we were leaving. That was absolutely incredible. I really loved that trip so much, and that introduction was a really good introduction to a really good trip. But that's not to say I always enjoy arriving at Disney. That was just the first time I arrived for the first time in the evening before, whereas normally it had been first thing in the morning. And yeah, seeing it for the first time with my friends was really good. Walking down Main Street at any point just makes it really, really enjoyable. Like I said, the character meets I had last year made it also really fun. And also, as I said in my last time, first time riding the roller coasters, as much as they terrify me and I never want to go on them again afterwards, I'm actually really pleased that I've been on all of them, including Crusher's Coaster, which I really didn't like. But yeah, so I just enjoy going to Disney, and I cannot wait to go to Disney World, which me and my boyfriend are currently saving up to go to, and will hopefully be going to, not next year, but the year afterwards. We've got to book it next year for the following year. So that's something to really look forward to. So yeah, there was my Disney tag. I really enjoyed doing those, and it was nice to update it, like I said, because I watched the video of me doing it last time a couple of years ago, and I realised there was so much I could have said, I could have added because of the trip that I've been to just recently, last year. And yeah, so this is the start of Disney month, and I'm looking forward to more Disney magic. Yay!